Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to Zelda Speedruns 2. Today we have the Zelda 2 Randomizer Standard Tournament 2021 Group F between Big Slammer and Cytown. With me on comms is Elendar. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Excited for another good match.
And looking forward to this one. We've got ourselves two newer Zelda 2 runners here, both of whom came from the Zelda 1 community, so we'll see how they do. I think this is actually the first time we've put either of them on Restream. We're currently sorting out a little bit of an issue in that they have completely different hashes, so we're currently working on figuring out what's gone wrong there, but we should hopefully have that sorted out soon and them started.
Yep. So there's a lot of newer players in this tournament, and I gotta say I've been really impressed by a lot of them.
Yeah, there's plenty of new ones. Quite a few imports from Z1R, including these guys, and plenty more just completely new faces. Should be so it should be interesting to see how they do. And all right, we got it sorted out, and we'll be starting here shortly. And yep, we have ourselves a Dragon Lord sprite on the left side, and a regular old Link sprite on the right for cytown. Let's gonna quickly do a couple of commands. Shoutouts to our runners, Big Slamu and cytown, to my co-com Elender, and to our tracker Day Royale with Cheese.
So it looks like we're running Group 4 today, which is the most difficult of the Swiss flags. We're gonna see no starting candle and mixed enemies, so we could be in for some tough early combat.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they do. Everything is better with cheese. Hey, Alan. I mean, you should have seen ours weekly the other day. We had last week. Was it weekly or was it the turn race? I forget now. But we had a recent race where we had both of our cheesy trackers on tracking at the same time. Royale with cheese and cheeseburger party. Immediate item cave here while we're talking about it. Yeah, tourney race. I've been all over the place, but yes. Nice magic jar, always nice to have it to start with, pretty much. Maybe we need a cheese emote. Okay, this looks like a dried canyon biome, bridges to nowhere. Hi, GP.
Always nice to see a GP right next to start, so wherever you are, whatever you're doing, as soon as you get that 6th crystal, you can just zip over real quick and get going.
Yeah. cytown finding one of faster caves. Grand Canyon, probably one of the nicest biomes. Regular canyons can kind of suck, as we find a pass-through cave to, I think that was the east. There by start.
Yeah, definitely could have been east, maybe Death Mountain. It's hard to say when you can only see one screen, but either way, nice to have some way out. Who knows how blocked off this west will be.
Usually, dried canyons are pretty open at distance. The river's all gone. The water's all gone. You just walk around. It's usually fairly easy. It's one of the nicer ones, but yeah, trophy is not the nice. If Thunder is is in Rudo today, and the trophy is there, so that's never good. Spell in Rauru, not the most useful.
Yeah, but this is definitely looking like a heavily wooded Death Mountain.
Oh yeah, that is Death Mountain. Wasn't initially sure, but it does look like a Death Mountain to me. Spell for Slamu. I mean, you're here, you might as well pick it up. I'm actually afraid I actually managed to completely miss where Rudo was, but we'll see it again from Slamu, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm finding Trophy Cave.
Yeah, it looks like just east of the start, there's a big cluster of towns all right next to each other.
Nice that's Rudo. Slamu's and Raoru's Saria's right next to it. So that ain't it. Jump in Saria. Okay, well, 4 not required spells. And Heart Container's nice find for cytown. I'm fairly certain Ruto was somewhere off to the west of Start, just not quite sure where. Jump. Both of them just checking out the towns. Here's Jump for Slamu. Don't think either of those spells were quite castable at Magic 1 there, but they'll get cheaper with a couple more levels. Also got a palace there right by Saria and Ruto, which is P3 or 6. Check that out later when they have the Eniki or Fairy, perhaps, or no. Ah, yeah, gonna grind up a bit of experience here off this Iron Knuckle. $100 experience, not bad. Slime with just 3 off of the next level. That should be attack 2. And there we go.
Looks like the drop cave is pretty kind. I know, especially with mixed enemies, sometimes you can just drop into a pit and just be absolutely impassable. And extra lives in the small enemy group, so that's very helpful in case there's some difficult dungeons up ahead.
Always nice find. Both of them just going for a bit of level grinding here. That's Magic 2 for Slamu. Oof, taking a death on that encounter there. Another item cave here for Slamu. Let's see what this is.
It's hard to say, but it's starting to look like this west might be segmented, with only 2 palaces having been found so far, and it looks like they've covered most of the available space.
I don't think they've quite been down to the southwestern part of things just yet. They've wandered all the way east. I'm not sure they've gone all the way west yet. There's the raft. Haven't seen a raft tile yet, but that could come in use later. I know cytown at least hasn't found Ruto, which I'm pretty sure was somewhere west of Start. I'm not quite sure where, but somewhere in the westerly direction. Because that is as far east as they're going today on this. It looks like a dried canyon biome, though, Elendar. And dried canyons usually aren't... Dried canyons aren't segmented. Canyons are segmented by a river when they're, not suffering a drought, but a dried canyon just doesn't have any real segments for the most part, unless there's like an isolated cave or something. Those are fairly uncommon. But we'll have to see. There's that hurt for Slamu. Looks like they found 2 heart containers so far, actually. Beside town's raft. does look like there might be a very narrow pass through up there. Nope. Yeah, I didn't think so. It looks like just a canyon of dried canyon that's running northeast to southwest. I honestly might just up. There's Rudo near a hammer block there to kind of nowhere actually. And that's Mito near west of Star. It looks like. Guess what spell that was? Did you catch it, Eleanor?
I did not catch it.
Dash, thanks, Royale.
Well, we'll at least be picking up the down stab, and probably worth picking up the hint anyway, just to mark one spot off on the tracker.
I agree on that. Dash replaces fire. Irene. Cytown going back to Death Mountain here. Yeah, I am sort of a little curious where that final palace is in the west. We've located all 4 towns, even though I've kind of forgotten where Rudo ended up. I've located, I think, most of the item caves. We've the last one of them looks to be hammer block there by Mito.
And despite the forest, this Death Mountain layout is actually, it's pretty reasonable, pretty open, pretty easy to see where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the Hammer Cave.
Yep. Yeah, we already saw GP. Oh, there's the last palace, just tucked away at the end of the continent. Go figure. I think that was 3 heart containers on the west while we're at it, since it's 3rd in Stonehenge. Thanks, game.
Definitely being kind. And the
others. Yeah. This one's hot pink. No, depending whose runner's sound I use depends on who has clean audio. Okay, Rudo was in the far western end of the map, jeez. Yeah, so in this case, clean audio and Slamu's player 1, it was already, with the dashboard was set to using player 1's audio, and they both got clean audio today, so we're using Slamu's until I find a reason to switch to cytown, such as if cytown is ahead. So for audio, we aim to have non-mic because it's both annoying to commentate on and very distracting to viewers. Go west to find the candle.
Well, that's not a good one. That probably just means that hammer blocked cave is nothing.
And that probably means the candle's in that hammer blocked cave, I think, at this point. We've seen this, but all the items in the west.
It's like just a magic container in Death Mountain, so another one for the pile, but not a progression item.
No, not especially. At this point, I think we have indeed explored the West very, very thoroughly, which looks like we're going to Death Mountain for connectors at this point. I think we've seen about all the items in the West. Yeah, we've seen just about all the items in the West. Yeah, we've seen 5 of the items in the west. We know the 6th is a candle, probably behind that hammer rock. We haven't managed to find any other connectors to anywhere in the west besides the cave to Death Mountain, so I think it's time to dig Death Mountain.
Yep, and often an early Death Mountain can be rough on the combat, but I think with 7 heart containers and 5 or 6 magic containers, they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, they'll be alright. Both of them exploring the West very thoroughly, trying to not need to go dig Death Mountain for ages, but no such luck. This is a very segmented Death Mountain. I think I see the edge of either a volcano or a caldera there from Slamu. This does look kind of like one of the volcanic biomes, with it being we kind of feel like it's a bit split. Because that
big rock wall.
Yeah.
And if it is caldera, the chances of the raft tile being on the east are a lot greater than on the west side at this point. So.
Okay, I wasn't paying attention to the windows in this palace that Cytown's in, but that's P6 here by Rauru. Which means P3 is the hot pink one.
Yeah, this will be a good source of experience, but I don't think I saw keys anywhere in the drop group, so I'm not sure he's going to be able to get the crystal.
Okay, there were no windows, thanks. Yeah, that's a good question, because Fairy is somewhere in the east, stuck behind Death Mountain at this point, and the ending key is who knows where. And confirming this is a caldera today in Death Mountain from Slamu. That's a caldera. Yeah, at least Barba's super squishy, even on attack 2. This is a really sweet Barba.
And unfortunately, just a magic container from the drop on Barba, so he'll have to look elsewhere to find a key to complete the dungeon.
I don't know if we've seen any key drops at all this seed, honestly. Well, alright, Slamu is through to the other side of Death Mountain, still looking for that continental connector, which we haven't seen yet. The issue with a caldera anything, honestly, is that it's very, very segmented, and it can be very annoying to figure out where you're going, because you can't see anything either when there's this much mountain going on. We don't, currently, Slamu's in the eastern half of this caldera, in the eastern half of this Death Mountain, but we don't know if the connector's on the eastern half or the western half.
Yeah, it could definitely be quite some time exploring, trying to find that magic cave that leads where you need to go. Yeah, magic key would be an interesting one for them to find, because that would all of a sudden put both of the dungeons in the west in logic. But here's the connector to Maze Island, so...
Which has P1 in it. Okay, unfortunately, that's Maze Island and not the east, so more chains of connectors. Not the best thing you want. Not really what someone wanted to see, I think, there. Probably would prefer the east over over Maze Island here, having just hiked all the way through Death Mountain.
Yeah, and if there is another connector out of Maze Island here, it looks like it's going to be quite a walk through the maze.
Yeah. I think there's either another connector in Death Mountain in Maze Island, or they need to go find one in Death Mountain. Well, there's a raft tile, and they do have the raft. Yeah, hopefully that raft tile should take them to the east, I think, at this point. But someone's going to first look for the items here in Maze Island, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the only possibility if the raft didn't go to the east would be that it very rudely sends you back to Death Mountain and you have to find the other connector cave there, but that seems unlikely.
It seems unlikely, and it would honestly suck if it did happen. But I do expect that raft tile goes to the east. The only question is where in the east. Yesterday's restream between Trails and Patrick involved a ginormous swamp you had to hike through to get anywhere in the east for a bit without boots. We'll see if today's is any better. Cytown is continuing to explore this west, hoping for a connector somewhere. Unfortunately, we know it doesn't exist. They need to go hike through Death Mountain instead. I don't blame them for not wanting to go through Death Mountain. It's not the most appealing of ideas, but there's no other choice at this point.
It looks like cytown at least gonna go take a trip and pick up Downstab to make the Death Mountain trek a little safer.
Oh, in other news, there's a cave up on the northeastern part of Maze Island there, so that's something. That could be our connector. One of them could, in fact, loop back around to the Death Mountain. The other one is going to head to the east. It could be that both of them lead to the east. We don't know yet.
Sadly, just a pea bag in Maze Island, and since the other item is the cross, that means, yet again, no progression here.
Nope, so Glove and Eniki are either in the east or in palaces, which, not great. They do at least already have the spell and 6 magic jars. Or Cytown has 6 magic jars. Not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure actually where Cytown got that 6th magic jar. Slime was only on 5.
The 6th magic jar was in Hammer Cave, and Slimu didn't find that on his way through Death Mountain.
Okay, yeah. You mixed up which item was in Hammer Cave. Oops, that would be why. Alright, so Cytown, you might want to go check. I think Cytown, you need to go through Death Mountain. Like, he's been exploring the west very, very thoroughly. Like, he's combing every square inch of this place. There's just not a thing to be found. His stats, seriously, back to Death Mountain here.
Yeah,
for Slamu.
Looks like that's where the cave took him.
Yikes! That's a really remote part of Death Mountain, too. I don't think that leads to much of anywhere quick.
Oh, looks like it led down to where Hammer Cave was. So that could be a nice shortcut. A little bit shorter of a path, because it doesn't involve going through the caldera.
That's true. Yeah, kind of that cave looked to be kind of in the southern part of Death Mountain. Cytown finding the hot pink P3 and going to try and dip it. I'm a little unsure what Cytown's currently doing. He really needs to find a continental connector to the east, because I mean, it's nice to be able to do palaces, but without the Eniki or the ferry and no key drops, you can't actually finish any of these, and it's not going to get you the progression item you need for these.
Still a chance that he gets lucky and finds a glove or magic key or something, but definitely not. Gonna find him a way to the east, and looks like vanilla drippers. Not good for XP.
No, not at all. There's the magic jar for Slamu. Also kind of pointedly not looking too much in Cytown's direction, because this shade of pink is a little harsh on the eyes. It's a bit bright.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's a key block. Cytown just going to try and get a bit of experience here. Nope. I think the randomizer expects you to do Dark Caves without candles, Eleanor. Yeah.
Yep, definitely. The candle is not required according to logic for any cave, so the candle can in fact be in a dark cave, which leads to a little bit of a graphical weirdness where the if you do pick up the candle in a dark cave, it does not actually light up the room until you do a screen transition.
You need a bright palace to counteract the dark caves. This one's a little bit too bright. At least brick pattern's easy on the eyes, even if the color's a bit horrendous. This is one of the more nausea-inducing brick patterns, at least. Some of them can get a little bit trippy. Yeah, Slamu has no choice but to go hike back through Death Mountain. Gotta love Z2's maps rando, but Z2R's map rando when it decides to take you on the hike.
Yeah, it looks like the only way to the east in this seed is through Death Mountain and then through Maze Island out to the east.
Yep, because Maze Island loops in on Death Mountain in the east. Also, that Spectral Rock's in a bit of an awkward corner today. Seeing it on Slamu's side, cytown seeing the item room in P3, but again, there is no key. And at this point, we can confirm that there are no key drops in the pool, because we would have seen one by now.
Yeah, very likely.
Neither, Ethereal Seth. This is a restream, so the runners are each streaming to their own personal Twitch channels, and then we are capturing it through OBS, and Elendar and I are talking about it. cytown and Slamu are not in this voice call. They have no idea what the other opponent is doing, because that kind of ruins random, honestly, if you know what your opponent is doing.
Yeah, and also the nerve-wracking element of having no clue whether you're ahead or behind, I think, adds to the excitement of each race.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Elendar and I are not racing, but we are third parties who are watching this race and talking about what they're doing. So we perform analysis on their plays, we talk about what they plan to do, we talk about how this seed is treating them, and we comment on any errors they might make, such as cytown currently trying to do palaces without any key or fairy spell, with no key drops. Which unfortunately hasn't paid out by and large. He knows where the item room in P3 is, and he's beaten Barb up, but he can't actually turn in the gem or get the item without a key.
We are going to see where the raft takes us, and it looks like the southern end of the east.
Somewhere in the south, yeah. Not sure where, because we just got here. Right, Darunia has life. Okay, at least they don't need a magic item for that. Here by the raft tile. Yeah, and in case you're curious, I am Star. I am the female commentator here. My co-com is Elendar. You can tell and you can also tell by the icons on the screen lighting up when each of us talks.
And I like this quick trip in to get upstab. You never know when it's gonna come in handy, and you might as well grab it here.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a troll that upstab can't possibly be required until Great Palace all the way at the end of the game. Definitely lead to some rude awakenings when you discover you need it and have to reset out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I agree this looks like a volcanic biome in the east here. Once was a dried canyon, Death Mountain caldera. This east just looks like a volcano. Yeah, GP does love to have upstab blocks. I've seen upstab blocks and downstab blocks in 2 consecutive rooms. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
I was saying, there is a trick that a number of players have picked up recently that lets you skip some of the upstab required rooms, but it's definitely not an easy trick, and I don't know if either of the runners here have learned it.
I don't know either, as someone here has found an item cave in the east. We are still short a glove. We would absolutely love to have an any key. We would like to find fairy too, that would be nice, and we know that trophy is here somewhere. And I think Cytown has finally given up and said, I think I need to go dig Death Mountain.
Unfortunately, just the child here in the dark, so...
Yeah, not really what Slamu wanted to see, I think. I mean, it's the life spell, which isn't the worst, but Slamu's already on 7 hearts in life 4. It's not the most useful thing in the world, at least.
Yeah. Also reinforcing the tradition of finding a spell item immediately after you leave the town you want to turn it in.
Yep, because that's how random goes. You need an item, you find it immediately after you leave the area you needed the item in. Alright, Cytown gets to explore this delightful Death Mountain. This is definitely a volcanic east, alright. As you can tell, because there is lava just absolutely everywhere. Cytown passing through the caldera now. Yep, good old Pompeii biome, as Alan says in chat. Gotta love when there's just lava everywhere. Surprisingly, Link can deal with lava just fine. Doesn't need any special equipment or anything, unlike later games. You just walk on through.
Yep. Lava also has valuable magic restoring properties if you take a bath in it.
Yes, it does.
It's like a mineral bath. It's good for your skin.
It looks like we're kind of in the southwestern corner of the east here. That's a big wall off to the left for Slamu.
And it looks like one of these pass-throughs might be required. Nah, it looks like it opens up here.
Yeah. So volcanic biomes are split just the same way that caldera biomes are split, like we saw earlier in Death Mountain, sorry. And they can be a west-east split or a north-south split, and I think we have a north-south split in the east today, because that's the southern end of the path to the crater there. Whoops, crater, not caldera. Crater is the word for a volcano. Brain.
Yep. And it definitely looks like there's at least one pass-through in addition to possibly the Death Valley pass-through there.
Yeah, because in the volcanic biome, Valley of Death becomes a pass-through. It's either west to east or north to south, and this one's a north-south one. That's a magic jar, I think. And Slamu found another magic jar, actually, on the desert tile. My brain is currently mixing up my game, so I'm trying to not say the wrong thing for Z2R. But yeah, so that's all 8 magic jars, so casting spells will not be a concern for them today. But yeah, I do believe yeah, that's completely useless. Time to head north. That's an impressively useless southern portion of the continent. It's got the raft tile, it's got Darunia, and that's it.
Great abundance of magic containers, but other than that, not much.
No, it's got both it's got both item caves, it's got the desert tile, it's got Darunia, and it's got the raft tile. But it doesn't have anything else of interest. So it looks Slamu's gonna try and take this pass-through cave before deciding to take the Valley of Death, as Cytown is finally sailing east. Going to run into the same unfortunate map here that Slamu did. And that passer went north. Shield and Nukasudo.
Magic container is going to be no problem with the old lady today.
Not in the slightest. There's the trophy. Yeah, those raft spots are indeed a bit off. The animation from Maze Island has you sailing west. And then the raft tile in the east is on the southern shore. That's what happens when you get continent. I think it happens when you get anywhere goes continent connections, but it's quite funny to see.
We all know that Link secretly attached some balloons to his raft, like in Breath of the Wild. He's just flying off to the new continent.
I mean, I wouldn't entirely be surprised with Z2R if that happened. Alright, Spell Tower has a P bag, so that isn't helpful. But that trophy is required for Thunder today, so that's a good find. Cytown gets to explore this brilliant spot. Sailing back to Maze Island. I'm gonna go dig out items, I suppose, seeing that the east might not be the most friendly of layouts. Perhaps hoping to find some boots. Unfortunately, the boots aren't going to help much either, since this is a volcano biome. T-Bird is required in these flags, yes. Yeah, they kind of want to find Fairy soon, because it's looking increasingly likely that the Any key is in a palace at this point.
We're definitely running out of spots.
Yes, indeed. There's our remaining 2 towns, all close together. Old Kasudo... Let's just gonna pick it right on up. Now, it's either one of Fairy or Reflect, so it's required anyway, since we've seen everything else. And it's Reflect.
Yeah, of the 3 remaining overworld spots, all of them are blocked off. We've got the 1 remaining cave in the west that's hammer blocked, we've got Spectacle Rock, and we've got the water tile.
Yeah. And the brewer has Fairy for us today, so that'll finally give us the ability to beat palaces and get the items from them. Since key drops don't exist, and Cytown's found both Barba and the item in P3, but couldn't get either of those things without the Fairy spell.
Yep.
Hey Trails, yeah, Slamu has been doing pretty well with his seed. This overworld was not the greatest thing we've ever seen. You were hard required to go through Caldera Death Mountain from the west side to the eastern side to take a bridge over to Maze Island, to then from there take a raft tile to the east to get anywhere. And like the west and east were very, very separated. The issue for Cytown is Cytown full clear the west, trying to find anything that didn't involve going through Death Mountain. Unfortunately, it didn't exist. Once he checks out here looking for the other item, which is here is the cross, not helpful. Yeah, and that's a boots blocked palace, by the way, on the edge of the thing there. Good info. We need boots. Add boots to our list of required items, because that's on the other side of a lake, and I don't think you can get there. But yeah, Cytown unfortunately had no luck whatsoever. Here's P5. Trying to avoid going through Death Mountain, and is noticeably behind because he didn't find a whole lot in the west. He found the item in P3 and he beat Barba, but there's no key drop, so he couldn't finish either of those things. So, unfortunately, Cytown's just a bit behind at this point, as Slamu heads into P5, our first complete palace, and Cytown's done with that disappointment of a Death Mountain cave. Isn't that the item room for Slamu?
I think that one's just a dead end that leads to a small item.
Okay, thanks. Wasn't sure. Yeah, typical Starseed for Z2R, the map gets funky. Mind you, the map gets funky can be said about most Z2R seeds. Trails, Cytown already found it's the problem.
Yep. The only thing Cytown will pick up from that little trip is the knowledge that there is a slightly shorter path over here into Maze Island by going south and then heading east at Hammer Cave.
Yeah, which is not the most useful info in the world.
Yeah, I think both of our runners are probably hoping not to have to make a trip back to the west and do that all over again, but depending on where the items are, it definitely might be required.
Yep. Oh yeah, I will also laugh, as Irene said, if the item in P3 that Cytown, words, jeez, had to skip earlier due to no key drops, is the magical key, because that's just a whammy. P5's being P5 for Slamu. Cytown gets to deal with this volcanic east, which is about as fun as the Death Mountain was. Hey, Kuma. So yeah, we've seen most of our overworld items, so it's looking likely that we'll need to dig up palaces for the glove and the boots, or the hammer to get one of those two items.
Yeah, at this point I think we're going to see a lot of full clearing of palaces.
And I think Slamu will continue in P5 to look for the items, since he's cleared the overworld pretty thoroughly and knows there's not a whole lot left in the overworld. Like, we've seen both item caves in the east, we've seen the grass, we've seen the desert tile, and we've seen both items in New Kasuto. We've seen 5 of the 6 item caves in the west, we know the 6th is the candle and besides this hammer block. We've seen both items in Maze Island, and we can't do anything in Death Mountain, so yeah, we're definitely gonna have to dig palaces today, which is a bit of a whammy. We'll see where our items are for that.
Yeah, I think the dream here for Slamu would be if the boots are in 5, because that would allow him to fully clear out all of these dungeons in the east to avoid having to make a double dip all the way back here.
Yeah, because it's a real hike to get here. Yeah, Guma's tanky here on attack 4, not too surprising as Cytown finds that magic jar. At least life is castable. It's 32 points at magic 4, but that's not too bad when you have 8 magic jars.
Yeah, for sure with shield and life, it'll make even the tanky boss quite a bit safer.
Big part of any Guma fight is timing, which Slamu seems to be doing a fairly alright job of. Hey, there we go, nicely done.
And 700 points leaves an interesting question of whether he wants to see if he could pick up the last 40 or just put the gem in.
I think so, since he's also looking for the item in P5. Ooh, that game over hurts for Cytown, who now has to hike all the way back.
Unpleasant. Nope, and it looks like this is just a dead end here, but with enough experience to put the gem in.
Yep. Gonna take that life level, place a gem, and then probably go up A again to see if the item is findable, because I don't think you want to leave any items behind when you know you need to dig palaces.
For sure. 5 is definitely not one of the better dungeons that you want to check, but I don't think I don't think you can justify ever leaving.
You don't want to hike back here in any case. Because everything's a hike in the east, as poor Cytown is currently doing, unfortunately, due to having taken that death earlier. Just hiking. And the experience is good, at least.
Looks like he did remember that shortcut through Death Mountain into Maze Island to save a little bit of time on the way back.
Yeah, a little bit. Unfortunately, you still need to go walk through quite a bit. Yeah, we've seen GP, it's right by Start in the west, so that's easy enough. Unfortunately, that shortcut's not a giant shortcut, since you still have to head quite a bit west to get to a bridge because of no boots.
Yep. Definitely would be a lot faster with fairy feet, but again, fairy in basically the worst possible spot to this seed.
Pretty much, you had to really go for a hike for it today. These runners are having a great time with this seed of maps being trolly, as Z2R does. Oh, and there's a freestanding key. Well, I mean, you might as well pick it up while you're here. There's a non-zero chance that item is key-locked after all. Okay, phew. Managed to not fall in the lava there on that crumble bridge. But yeah, palaces 2 and 4 are between the one's boots locked, the other's in the crater, so that's not happening very quickly, unfortunately. Slamu remembering he literally just picked up a key. Does not use fairy spell here, thank you. Would have wasted a big amount of magic if he'd tried.
Yeah, a little sad when you don't have the magic key to get the one-way key to a room going the wrong way, but that particular room has a bit of a glitch where the key door is too close to the wall, and if you go from the right to the left, you actually can walk through the door without spending a key if you don't have one.
Something I didn't notice about this Valley of Death earlier, but there's a cave right there that's in a kind of funky placement. I gotta love this rando sometimes when it comes to caves.
Oh, and it looks like the dungeon large enemy group actually does have key drops in it. We just hadn't seen one this whole time.
Yeah, poor cytown just was not lucky with that at all. Go figure. Also, that room proceeded to lag the game considerably. Alright, cytown's found his way north. Time to find everything in old Nukasudo here. Does have all 8 magic jars, so can in fact get this trophy. I'm unsure, but Slamu might. This P5 is being P5, so very long. And I'm wondering where this item is, because it's proving to be a P5, so it's big, and the item is not free at all. There it is. Hammer might be useful. We know that Candle's hammer blocked in the east, so that ain't it, but Spectral Rock could have our glove or our boots.
Definitely the thing you're hoping to see when you're just digging through all of these dungeons and you need multiple progression items, a fetch quest item.
Yeah. Alright, Slamu is going to go check out the Crater Palace now before obeying back to the west and hoping that this is the boots. Which it might be, we don't know. And that this palace isn't glove locked because we don't have the glove either. I'm not actually sure which direction this pass-through cave goes into to the odd placement.
Yeah, I think because of the way it comes in from the path, this might actually lead north. I think it might be a bit of a weird generation on the center of the map.
Yeah, the map random can get a little whacked. Okay, that's not helpful.
Yeah.
But yeah, that palace you could see just south of that pass-through is hard boots locked. There is a lake to the east of it, and there does not look like there is a pass-through to that bit of land there, so they're stuck with boots for that one.
Yep, and at this point, the one dungeon remaining in Death Valley is definitely their last hope for getting boots without having to do the long trek to double dip the east.
Yeah, because Slamu really doesn't want to make that hike. Yeah, lucky that they're to mostly avoid encounters throughout that first section of the Valley of Death. Oh, there's one. Well, the required one, along with the non-required one to go with it. Unfortunately failed the fairy feat, is only on 2 lives, so he's gonna have to be very careful here. Smart choice to cast Life Spell, I think, at this point. Can take a Lava Bath to get a fairy feat in the other side of this pass-through cave, but don't do so yet. Cytown, seeing the bad news that that palace here is in fact boots blocked, getting a full view of the fact, yep, you're needing boots. Hey, nice fairy feat, and Slamu is through to, oh goodness gracious, P4's Hot Pink 2.
Rando being Rando today. It's very enjoyable.
Yep. Oh, okay, that's an incredibly free helmet, Rebanak.
Yeah, ordinarily would be a very nice thing to find, but given that he's basically compelled to dig for items here, it's gonna only be so helpful.
Sorry, because my brain's turned off. Yeah, very free Karok. But yeah, you want the item to be accessible here. You really don't want to have to come back here for the item in case it's required. Should be attack 5.
And even if it ends up being life 6, you're definitely going to be digging more of the dungeon, so it's not so bad. You can pick up whatever XP you need. But yeah, it is attack 5. It's a pretty cheap attack 5.
Yeah, 1530 is not bad. Usually I would have expected life 6 to be a touch cheaper than attack 5, but hey, whatever works. Even the any keys the any key, while not what Slamu was looking for, would not be missed either, since with the lack of keys, and fairy's not the cheapest thing I've ever seen. For one of the more mid-sized palaces, so hopefully shouldn't take too long to dig for this item. And it's a dead end. Cytown's now digging out P5. I think he's also gotten to the point of realizing I need to dig this place out and I'm running out of things to do. Having also seen that he absolutely hard needs boots today.
Yeah, it looks like this P4 not being the kindest dungeon. A lot of forks very early.
Yeah, multiple dead ends as well for Slamu, who's just ferried through that door and is heading right. These are pretty cushy as far as health goes, by and large. 8 heart containers help a lot with that. That's a death for Cytown, who has not unfortunately turned off the flashing in the randomizer. There's the item. And Flute of 100% uselessness. Thanks, game. I don't even know where the River Devil is, but they don't need it.
Yeah, we're definitely well on our way to a full clear here.
Excellent. Yeah, that blows. I agree, Irene. Bad pun, but also agreed. That's really not. The flute might have been the worst possible thing Slamu could have found there.
Yeah, even the last heart container would be of some value.
You mean last magic? Yeah, last heart container. Even medicine leading to dash would have been a bit better than the flute. They would have really liked the any key. The boots would have been. The boots are required. We know where the cross is. Yeah, the flute was literally the worst possible item to have found there. Thanks, game. Really appreciated. What did I roll? My usual Twin Dragons of Chaos.
And Slamu's backtracking to Maze Island to go to 1. It was a pretty reasonable play. It's the shortest dungeon, and you might as well try hope beyond hope that the boots are here and not all the way back in the west.
Yeah, or in Death Mountain's Spectral Rock, which neither of them have found a way to yet. This is a dead end. Slamu, you... No, that isn't. I got lost. Standard... Good question. What is standard flags? So let's see. Biome. So Maze Island is always vanilla-like. The west and east and Death Mountain can be any biome that's not vanilla or vanilla shuffled. Connector cave. Continental connections go anything goes for continental connections. Start with 4 hearts, 4 magic jars, 1/1/1 starting levels. Spells are randomized amongst each other. There's no spell requirements in the east. Your max hearts are max of 8 hearts. I think experience for levels is random. Yeah, that's about the main things I think actually. Oh, connector caves go where you think they go. Yeah, that's about what standard is.
We've also got shortened GP and Thunderbird always required for GP, so no quick ones this time.
No. It is 6 gems required, and we do have a couple different flag sets available for the group stage. Some have mixed. You can have start with Candle or don't start with Candle, and you can have mixed large and small enemies or not mixed large and small enemies. Today we have no Candle and no mixed and we do have mixed enemies, the most difficult of our 4 groups flag sets. Here's the item in. Oh, you're kidding me, game! After finding the flute in P4, the heart container became the most useless item to find.
Big Slamu has in fact reached full Joshi D.
Yes, he in fact has every single heart container and magic jar in the game. He's not happy about it, I don't think. We'll clear the game today, apparently. Thanks. Cytown's still having fun in P5. This Bat Hammer is quite deep today. I swear if the next item is the medicine, I'm gonna laugh. And the side is probably gonna be very mad at it. Because they're just not getting the items they need. At all.
Yeah, at this point there's, there's 2 dungeon items left that are in Logic, and then also the
Spectacle Rock.
Yeah, Spectacle Rock, and also the water tile still. So there's a very high chance that Spectacle Rock ends up being required at this point.
Yeah, alright. Took a little bit to dig up Forset, but that's done for Slamu. Going to pick up Life 6 here and get going. Yeah, worst possible items to find. Heart in Flute in P4 and a Heart in P1 equals back to the west he goes. Not too happy about that one either. So yeah, we get to go dig out P3 and P6 here in the west, hoping that one of these has it. We know that we know that there is a hammer-blocked cave in the west, but we also know the candle is there because we saw a hint for it, and we've seen every other item check in the game, so it's not that. P6 Forest for Slamu. Well, I don't think Slamu is going to go dig out the cross from the most remote corner of Maze Island. I mean, maybe he'll. I don't know if he. We got a hint for it. I don't remember where that was or if Slamu's seen it, but he ain't going there anytime fast, I think, right now.
Yeah, I don't think he's seen it. I think it was all the way in the upper left, and you sort of had to take a detour from the cave. But especially with GP being in the west, I don't think it's going to be necessary.
Barbara is sick today. Should be a pretty quick fight on attack 5 here. Managed to not fall in the lava with that jackhammer, which is always a risk. Was worried he would. He's set. Cytown is in this glaringly bright P4. Here's Karok. And is probably going to find a load of a disappointment that is that flute. Now the question is, what's he going to be in P6? Which is a nice and light, easy on the eyes blue here. I like this shade.
Definitely. I think this is one of the vanilla shades, or at least very close to it. It's been a hot minute since I've played vanilla.
Same here, honestly. Yeah, especially compared to the incredibly bright colored cytown on the P4 on the cytown side, this is much nicer. Yeah, it looked like that elevator room looped in on itself, and the right side was a dead end. So back he goes. No luck there. Oh, I guess I did forget with these flags. Blocking rooms can be in any palace. I'm honestly a little surprised we haven't seen a glove block anywhere yet. And community rooms are on. So the item might not necessarily be to the right.
Yep, the item can be left or right, up or down in any dungeon.
Yep.
Clearly, we wanted them to full clear everything.
Yes, because of course that's what they wanted to do today. I mean, it is turning out to be a full clear. I will laugh so hard if it's the medicine in here. I mean, medicine in any key. I mean, any key is nice. Medicine gets you dash, but at this point, you don't need them, and you would really like to find the item of progression. Yeah, we're doing Zagal Jack and Hunter Rando. Everyone's favorite thing. This item, by the way, P6 is being P6, so it's taking a while.
Yeah, definitely.
And Cytown finding the huge disappointment that is that flute. It's so useless, we haven't even seen the river doubled. He's probably off in some remote corner of the east we're never going to.
Yeah, the far northeast or something.
Yeah. And Cytown does not decide to go check out the crater palace and instead head back west, which we know will pay out. Oh no, he checked out the crater palace. He's not going back to Muse Island just yet, so this we know is fine. That's GP, and we'll see where he's heading off to P3 here.
And from before, he knows where the item is, so he should be able to fairly quickly pick it up, and hopefully it's something good.
Yeah. Samu is still digging out this P6 to no avail. This is being P6, so very long. Alice is 5, 6, and 4, all really refusing to give you their item.
Yeah, and it looks like there's some unfortunate loops that Slamu has found himself in here in 6.
I think so. That definitely looked like a loop there on that room. The elevator took you back where he came from. So that's not it. Cytown, one of these rooms, there are 2 variants. The vanilla, which is a dead end, and a custom room, which is not a dead end. So that. is not a dead end. And ooh, there's the glove finally in P6. That's good, but it's not the boot.
Yeah, that's one of the pieces of the puzzle.
Yep.
And there's the other one.
Hey, alright, we don't need to go dig out Spectacle Rock. Good news. And news is Cytown needs to dig all of P6. Because that took a while to find.
Yeah, but based on how it was, he definitely has the possibility to get lucky with how many turns and loops there were. It could definitely pick up some time with some fortunate routing.
Yeah, alright, simultaneous, incredibly brightly colored P3, everyone. Apologies for your eyes, there's nothing we can do about it. We've just got ourselves hot pink P3 on both sides. Lovely. But this will be Samu's go mode, and Cytown needs to go dig P6, which I think he will since he's in the west and doesn't want to go hiking again just yet.
Yeah, this is going to turn out to be fortunate routing for Cytown, because he's going to more or less avoid having to do a lot of the backtracking that Slamu ended up getting into.
It was sensible for Slamu to go dig P4 on the way before deciding to go back west, just in case he could avoid going back through all the chain of connectors everywhere, even though there was no such luck. Okay, simultaneous rebo here. Slamu still needs to go up and left, I think, at this palace to find that those boots. Beautiful jackhammer for Slamu. Cytown unfortunately taking a death. And that'll be attack 6. And that's Rebo down to Cytown. Unfortunately for Slamu, we know... Oh no, that is life. Okay, magic's... Yeah, attack 6 is a little expensive.
Yeah, with one more dungeon to go, I think it's pretty likely that he'll be able to either just go 5-7-7 or grind out a little bit of experience and try to do 6-6-7. I think
it's like 40, it's like 50 experience or something between Life Magic 7 and Life in Attack 6. I think he might just go for those extra like 30 points or whatever it is. It's like 40 or...
Yeah, it's
40.
Definitely...
It's very workable.
Yeah, for sure. But it's one of those things where I don't think either runner at this point thinks, given how long it's been and how much full clearing they've been doing, I don't think either runner probably thinks they're ahead. So it's one of those questions where it's like, well, I really do want to pick it up, but also like, I could be expecting a dot done any minute now. I need to get going.
Exactly, and Cytown unfortunately is heading back across the Death Mountain, so is leaving P6 for later. Unfortunately, we know that is not going to work. Perhaps not wanting to dig P6, knowing it's a very long palace, and maybe wanting to leave to chain it in with GP, but and knowing that there's also a possibility its boots blocked, so leaving it behind for the moment. Unfortunately, it will not pay out. Yeah, Cytown likes to be hitting 1 and 2 before 6, I'd expect. Going to get 1 and Maze Island and then hit 2 on the way to Palace 2. That's a dead end Cytown, who lost track of which pass through Cape is which, I think. Oopsies.
Yeah, if it turns out that 2 isn't glove blocked, it's not going to cost Cytown that much, just because both the runners are going to have to head all the way back east anyway. But it could definitely be scary if all of a sudden a glove block comes out in 2 and then you're all the way back to the west again.
Yep, more hiking, because this is the seed of hiking. Slum also needs to turn in Thunder eventually. That trophy eventually to get Thunder. He hasn't quite done that yet. I don't think. Alright, let's do a couple shoutouts. Give our two runners here a follow, Big Slim and cytown, who are doing a pretty good but great show here on their first C2R restream here on the ZSR family of networks. Shoutouts also to my co-commentator Elendar and to our tracker Whale with Cheese.
Yeah, I'm really fortunate that the spectacle rock isn't required in this seed, because even being able to see where it is with your eyes, I have no idea how you'd get into that with this maze of caves.
Who knows? It's not friendly. Let's put it that way.
Boots providing a little bit of shortcut to Slimu on his way back.
And here's P1 for cytown, so it's gonna go dig out this place and find the heart container of disappointment in it.
These lava block rooms with both kinds of flying heads are always terrifying. But cytown makes it through cleanly. And it looks like P2 is a nice, pleasant dark green.
Yeah, it's a nice shade of forest green as cytown finds the heart container of disappointment and goes grumbling about, probably is grumbling about having to go dig even more palaces. That's a dead end.
And just to finish up the 100%, there's our medicine.
Which means the Nikki is sitting in Spectacle Rock or on that water tile. Thanks, game. Something. Of course, the Nikki never showed up because why would the game give it to us?
Well, the fairy spell was all the way in the worst possible location, and we couldn't ruin that by giving the runners the edit key. Oh no. Clem pointing out there's still a possibility of the notorious glove block key door glove block room in P7.
Oh goodness gracious, that would be a miserable end to the seed.
Unless either of our runners have remembered where they could borrow a key, they may yet be taking a trip out to Spectacle Rock.
Well, that's a glove block if I ever saw one, by the way, on Slamu's side here in P2. This room is very much glove blocked, no matter which direction you come at it from.
And that's going to be a pretty rough outcome for cytown now, because I think he's probably going to be headed over to P2 in just a second and going to be met with disappointment.
Yep. And then resign himself that he does in fact need to go all the way back to P6. Well, here's Helmet Head. Alright, that is Slamu's final gem. We'll see if he elects to find that, like, 30 extra experience or whatever it is, for attack 6. I think he will. And these Iron Knuckles will do it. Oh, actually, there's a bit more, but yeah, those Iron Knuckles should probably about make up the difference. Yeah, that should be workable here. Well, Iron Knuckle on a crumble bridge is not the greatest thing ever, but that looks like that should be workable. Oh, and that's that. Attack 6 acquired. Slamu is... where is he going, actually?
I think he is actually trying for the full 100% and gonna go get the water tile here.
just in case he needs the any key. I mean, I guess he's here.
It's not that long of a trip, and it does give you some safety from the Trails room.
That's true. Unless, nope, it's not even here. It's a P-bag! So, about that, yeah. We're going for... we're not doing that. If they need the any key, it's a stick and a spectral rock for them today. And yes, it did look like P2 was glove locked for from Slamu, so cytown's gonna need to leave at some point. Did you just get an error on Slamu's side, or was that me?
I did. Our reload seems to have fixed it.
Alright, yeah, I hit reload on my comms page, and I am hitting reload for the Restream. That should fix it. I'm not sure what happened to it either, but here's Thunder for Slamu. Is that going to go clear out? Let's see how long this GP takes. Hour 15 is a long C2R seed. You're not even in GP yet? No, there's the medicine in Penless 2 yet for cytown.
Starting off with some smiley waffles.
Yep.
Thankfully, just with the horizontal fireballs instead of the vertical ones.
Oh, this is a fun room.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the first of the two emoji, the left emoji does look kind of like a smirk. Alright, here's a drop. I don't think going right here does anything. Yeah, no it doesn't.
Yeah, I know one of the two reversed rooms has the standard 50-50 chance for Bird Knight or a jar, but I think it's the one without the flying enemy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cytown giving a valiant effort at this P2, but I do think it was glove blocked ultimately. I might be wrong. We'll find out eventually. In any case, that's a dead end. That's the dead end variant of this room, and I think cytown has realized he is glove blocked out of here. Out he goes, back to P6.
Yeah, I didn't catch how much Thunder costs, but Slamu definitely is looking around for a jar. I think he might be a little bit short of a Thunder cast and looking to hopefully avoid a death to Thunderbird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm terrible at reading the thing. I completely missed it a second time just now as well. This is a fun room. I mean, Slum is also just getting low on health, so might want to death to replenish that anyway. There's dash for cytown. I guess you get the magic jar, you might as well pick that up. Yeah, a whole lot of fun in this GP.
Nice long trip to the left.
Yep. Okay, Thunder looks to be 61, I think, on that pause. Either that or 81. Right now on Magic 6.
Yeah, 61, not too bad, you know, look.
Yeah, no, when you have all 8 magic jars, it's not that bad. That's the... Oh, huh, okay, that's the L7 drop. So that's something to think about. Huh. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, definitely when you see the L7 room, you start to think twice a lot more about taking any kind of drops. Oftentimes you see the Eon drop or something like that and you're headed left and you're like, well, you know, a drop could be taking me right, but I don't want to go left anymore. But if you know that there's at least one drop exit that also heads left and just takes you back, think twice about whether you want to take the drop or not.
Mm-hmm. There's another emoji room for Slamu, who keeps going left. High up stab block. Always a pleasure to see.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure that all of the items are required.
Yeah, because why wouldn't it be? One of the rooms Slamu passed through earlier, you either had to break a load of blocks going sideways or drop down from the top with down stab, so even more fun. I'm hoping for some jar drops here, which aren't happening.
Yeah, or even with an extra life from the small enemy pool is like a jar drop.
Effectively, yes. Oh, that's a road site. There we go. Nicely done. Yeah, the cytown is in zombie mode. Slum is not far off of it. Good thing Slum has turned off the beeping noise in the randomizer. It can really get on your nerves at times. And here's Thunderbird. That's a death.
Good to get there when you're completely out of resources rather than right after the death from being completely out of resources.
Yeah, that just feels bad. But alright, has 2 lives here, so should be... Tech 667, 8 hearts, 8 magic jars. This should be alright. Oh, actually, that Thunder took out like a whole entire magic bar. Yikes.
Yeah, I think he accidentally double cast it, and at 61, that is his entire bar of magic.
Oopsies! At least I think Darkling shouldn't be too far past this. We've seen quite a lot in this GP. Cytown back in P6, beat Barba forever ago, and is now going to go turn in this gen. Mercifully not the worst of situations to end up double casting an extremely expensive Thunder, since Slum is doing a fairly decent job at avoiding the fireballs. Unfortunately lost the pendulum a bit here, got it back again here, and has 8 magic jars anyway. And yeah, Thunderbird's a little bit sick. This is a pretty squishy one.
Unfortunately, the boss trap just being a blue jar, basically the worst thing you could get there, but...
I think all the bosses have dropped blue jars today.
Yeah. I suppose Key technically, well, you know, Key can still yet be useful.
Yeah. Whip! Sabu just fell through the floor, that's fun. I love that room when it does that. Oof, okay, this waffle room's really rough because Slamu's on very low health and no magic to replenish it. Yep, there goes. This is his last life. Hopefully he can manage to get through this and to Thunderbird and to Dark Link in one piece, because otherwise it's a bit of a trek to get back here. So the first half just okay enough. The second half is easy. Yeah. The heck when Thunderbird's the easy part indeed. Bridge. Murdering that fairy just in case needs to catch himself, but nope, gets through, and here's Darklink, finally! There we go, GG's to Big Slamu finishing first here with an official race time of 1:24:39. Let me make sure I don't deafen chat. And we will be getting Slamu in for an interview. Alright, and let me go get him in here. Hello, GG's!
Thanks, I had no expectations of even coming close there, but to pull off a win feels great.
No, GG's. That was a bit of a rough seed. Oh no. Did cytown just bail out a P6 without the glove?
Looks like he might have. Looks like he might
have.
Yeah.
Nope, that's not going to be good. There was so much back and forth on this thing. I was east to west, east to west.
Yeah, and he had to go all the way through Death Mountain and Maze Island to get from the west to the east and vice versa. Good, have fun.
It's funny, the first time I popped out of Maze Island via the cave, I thought I was in the east. And then I immediately entered that cave and I'm like, this cave doesn't look familiar. Wait a second, this is Hammer Cave.
Yep.
Unfortunately, everything seemed to conspire to force everyone into 100%ing these seeds, but 124 for a 100% seed is actually a really good time, so GG's.
Yeah, GG's considering he found basically every item in the game. Irene, Cytown's gonna find the any key here in the Spectacle Rock, because that's where he's going next. Because, well, we've seen every other item check in the game.
I was gonna say I skipped two. I skipped the medicine cave because I think that was a candle, and
That
then
is
the
correct.
rock.
Yeah, Candle had to be on the hammer on that. Oh, good point. Actually, Cytown doesn't have the hammer. He left that behind in P5.
Oh dear.
Which he might be going back to.
That's unfortunate. Oh, cytown taking the clever shortcut with the boots all the way around the outside of the island.
Yep.
Yeah, I prefer taking four encounters instead.
Yeah, this was just a fun map. Well, Droid Canyon in the west is easy enough. Droid Canyon's probably the nicest of the biomes because you can just walk everywhere since the water's all gone. But the Caldera and Volcano biomes for the Death Mountain and the east are not nice because they're just so segmented.
Yeah, I thought as I walked into that, there was that cave right on the walkway to Death Valley. I thought that was going to take me right to Death Valley at first.
Yeah, that was a little trippy. That was kind of unusual. That happens sometimes with a randomizer. How about that boots locked P2, by the way?
As soon as I saw it, I knew this was going to be rough, and I mean, I'd done 0 palaces at the time, so I'm like, oh, I'll find it in a palace real quick. It was the 5th palace I cleared, the last one.
Yeah, you and Cytown were actually in P3 at the same time.
Does he have boots then?
Yeah, he's got boots. He doesn't have, he, however, does not have the glove and does not have the hammer. Doesn't have a hammer is fine, doesn't have the glove is a problem. He may have decided to go back. He might think that the hammer is glove blocked in P5, which actually is saving him time, at least, if nothing else. Because he bailed out of P5 earlier, and he was heading in that general direction again, but seems to have left, so, well, back he goes to P6.
Yeah, I think the only real glove block I saw was GP, and it was halfway through or so.
He's come, we believe P2 is glove blocked as well, because Cytown bailed out of that too.
Yeah, there was that, the room with, you normally go left to right in vanilla where there's a bunch of,
yep.
glove blocks and the enemies that jump through the ceiling.
Yeah, you forget about them once you have the glove. It's just like, oh, I got a glove, I don't have to think about it anymore.
Yep.
Exactly.
I also thought I lost it when I double cast Thunder on T-Bird.
Yeah, you were fortunate that you guys in full clearing the seed managed to find every single magic shard and every single heart container.
Yeah, I was not confident in beating him without shield or reflect on, but pulled it off. So, and I needed it because I needed that last life for that last room.
Yeah. Yeah, this just ended up being one of those go everywhere for everything seeds. One of the biggest problem for Cytown this seed was that he, unfortunately, I'm not sure if he didn't realize that you could go through. I'm not sure what exactly is his thinking behind things, but he full cleared the west, including beating Barba, but not finding key drop because those were really rare apparently. Beat Barba, but didn't have a key drop to turn in the gem, and found the item in P3, but again no keys. Ended up going to the east, going on a hike through Death Mountain to eventually get to the east a good while after you did, which ended up putting him in a solid bit behind because he didn't find a whole lot during that time.
Yeah, even without, I mean, there's no way I'm diving those palaces without Fairy or the any key, even if I'm finding a couple of key drops, but there were no key drops to come.
No, I think we maybe saw the entire seed from a large enemy.
Yeah, I was
that sounds about right.
Surprised to even see that one.
Yeah, we'd long concluded there were no key drops to see by that point.
I say there weren't very many 500 bags either, which I didn't mind. Having to fight for XP felt good.
It worked out nicely for you in beating P2 that you were able to find that last little bit of experience to get attack 6. Because there were a couple of levels that were really close together there. I think it was like 35... Yeah, 35 AD is cytown's next level. And then it's like 36, 80, and 90 or something like that for Magic 7 in Life and Attack 6. So
yeah, it was 110 XP that I was not going to leave that palace without getting.
No, yeah. Made perfect sense to... Hi, Trails, yes, Cytown is back in P6, mercifully. Unfortunately, it's P6. This glove took quite a while for you to dig out, Slimy.
Yeah, it was that tricky room up top, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it the double-sided room where you go up the staircase and the item's right there on the right, or is that a different one?
I'm kind of forgotten, I'll be honest.
I think
it's again, it all ran together for me.
I don't actually remember how to get there. Cytown is stuck in that that three-way room loop. Yep. Okay, here's the button.
This looks right here where he's going.
Yeah, but some rage slash is in it, but there it is. And that is go mood for Cytown, finally. Time to go back on a hike.
Yep. Thankfully, with this southern shortcut and the boots, it won't be too long of a hike, but still not a pleasant one.
No. There was no saving you from going through a hike on all of the continents to get from the west to the east. World Tour Day.
Oh, he looks like he took a different route through here than I did. I took the Caldera every time.
Right, so one thing that you guys routed Death Mountain differently. Cytown found Hammer Cave early from the other side. And so he knows how to take that Hammer Cave to get over to... He knows how to find the area with the Hammer Cave and the connectors, so it's a little faster than going through the Caldera.
Yeah, that seems like way faster. That's like four dungeons faster, or 4 caves faster. Jeez.
Yeah.
I think both of you took the Caldera the first time, but Cytown had previously been to Hammer Cave and sort of figured out how everything connected through, taking that, unfortunately, very, very useless cave in the top of Maze Island.
Yeah. That earned a bit of an eye roll from me. I'm like, really? It's like that cave? Because we'd already seen a raft to the east in a kind of lousy spot. It's like, is that cave anywhere useful? No, I don't think we'd seen a raft yet. It's like, okay, there's a raft and there's a cave. Is that cave useful? No. Back to Death Mountain. Well, I guess it's the raft tile. Thanks, game.
Yeah, and when I did it, I had, I think, a half a bar of health left, so I had to up A and start over through that whole Caldera again.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the other issue for poor Cytown is he took a really awful game over very early on the east and had to go all the way back. Yeah, it would just cost him even more time, unfortunately. Oh hey, key drop.
Yeah, that's one thing I committed to not doing, is there was no way I was going to take a death in the east that game overed me, so even if I had to throw away 1,000 XP, I would throw it away at a palace. But there's only one palace in the east that you can get to for half the game, so...
Yeah, thanks, game. I mean, you could, yeah, because going to the Valley of Death is not a good idea.
Yeah, for sure, having picked up the kid, going back right away and picking up the life spell really paid off a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not nearly of the caliber to be ready to not grab that life spell yet, and to see how rough this one was, I'm glad I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I picked up this randomizer probably a month and a half ago. This was my 72nd ever seed, so put a fair amount in over the last month and a half, 2 months, and it feels good to put up a W at least once in the tournament.
Yeah, no, this was a very good showing. This was not a nice seed by any means. A lot of hiking, a lot of item requirements. Fairy was incredibly deep. This was not a great seed, and you did very well to sub 130 this. We were actually mentioning at least a little bit that there is a room that's kind of infamous. One of the community rooms can in fact force you to do the oh-so-fun thing of finding your any key, because there's a glove box and a key block in there.
Yeah, I thought about that actually in this room where Cytown is right now. I thought about that, and I thought about grabbing this key, and then I realized I'd lose that key immediately when I turned it in for Palace 2.
Yeah.
But that was in the back of my mind, is if I run into that room, I've got to get out and probably go back to Palace 3 and try to find a spare key.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the alternative being the Spectacle Rock that certainly didn't appear to be in a kind place to get.
No, not in the slightest. And alright, here's Helmet Head for Cytown. Helmet Head 6, it should be a pretty quick fight on Attack 5. We'll see if he goes for that little bit of extra experience that'll get him Attack 6. Because it's not much, and there's a couple Iron Knuckles next room that get you there really quickly.
Yeah, especially with Cytown having already picked up Thunderspell, even the one on the bridge shouldn't cause a problem. Oh, but he looks like he's going for Life 8.
Yep, deciding to not get that just little bit more experience won't really make a difference. Thunderbird wasn't too bad today. And he does in fact have all 8 magic jars in all 8 heart containers, so it should be fine. Yeah, I remember both you and Cytown from the Z1R community actually. How have you been finding Z2?
I mean, Z2 as a kid was my preferred game between the two of them, so to find there's a randomizer, and I mean the community's obviously a little smaller, but it's still a game I'd rather play over just about any other NES game, so I love it. I mean, it's definitely challenging. It's probably more challenging to pick up and get good at than Z1R or DWR, but it's been a lot of fun.
Glad to hear it. It's always nice to have new people in the community. We've had a lot of new people join this tournament. Both you and Cytown, two of several imports from the Z1R community. We'll just have plenty of new faces I don't recognize at all. It's been nice to have new people coming in with the tourney. C2R is quite a fun game, definitely a bit different from the other randos. I know map rando is just something that takes a while to get used to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually primarily a Dragon Warrior randomizer player, so map rando was very easy for me. It was weird to not have to draw a full map. On this one, it almost was easy.
Nice. I'm actually not familiar with Dragon Warrior or its randomizer, but that's nice to hear, because, yeah, map rando is actually, is unique among the Zelda randos, actually. It doesn't really work too well with how the other Zelda games work, per se. I don't think anyone wants to try and randomize which burn bushes, for example, are required in Z1.
That is my least favorite Z1 flag ever. I think I played maybe 2 races with it ever, and just do not ever want to play that again.
Yeah, no, that just sounds like a pain in the rear. Yeah, it's been good fun. I know you were, do you know when your next match will be, Slamu, actually, for this tourney?
I am still looking. I think TAH and I might be playing on Saturday. I've got TAH and Rose City Saint left, so not looking forward to either one of those matchups.
Ooh, ouch. Yeah, those are not fun matchups.
That is a rough group.
Yeah, I asked for a reroll after I saw that, but I don't think it was going to happen.
No, that's just really bad luck of the draw to get both TAH and the reigning standard and max rando champion in the form of our CS in your group. That's gonna be a tough one, but good luck to you on both of those matchups.
Yeah, I was telling Cytown, it's basically a fight for third place between him and I, so... Who knows, maybe I can get lucky on one more and make the bracket round.
I certainly believe you can do it.
Yeah, you put up a great showing today on Truly with this seed. Yeah, Cytown doing the glorious fun that is these seeds. This GP heading left now here in this emoji room.
Yeah, it looks like he made the right call there. He could have gone up and right like I did and waste 3 rooms, but he did the right thing.
Nice little time save here.
And he's still got enough magic to thunder.
Yep. And has
Probably
enough...
not after this jump spell, right?
Oh.
Yeah, no, not after that jump spell.
It's you can make that without jump spell. It's a little tricky, but a little surprised they didn't at least give it a try.
I've tried it. I spend more time doing it than I would spend hunting another blue jar, so...
I definitely would use the jump spell in almost any circumstance, but it's just a tricky bit of, the difference between being able to cast thunder and not being able to cast thunder is a big deal. But hopefully you should be able to pick up a blue jar from one of these small enemies.
Yeah, I kind of bake in that first life is just for getting the Thunderbird, then the second life is for fighting Thunderbird, the third one is for finding Dark Link.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's on beep strats. Lovely. Well, here's T-Bird, so... that's a bit of an issue in that he's on 1 life. And he only has 2 lives left. So, he, maybe looking for a fairy here, or that... A little confused why he didn't just die to Thunderbird, I'll be honest, admittly.
I think he was just taking a quick check, see if he can find a blue jar.
Perhaps. Unfortunately, no such luck, so... okay, heading back. Yeah, that's a death. Okay, there's 2 lives. I apparently can't count. We're fine.
I still get thrown off all the time too, just because it says 2 on the menu, but that's 2 extra lives and not 2 lives.
Yeah. Brain fart. Got a nice pendulum going here on this T-Bird. Maybe can't count, but sure can roll a seed. Haha, Clem. Yeah, T-Bird fairly squishy even on attack 5. This wasn't too bad. Also not using any spells for safety, it's just gonna fight it out. Nicely not taking any hits here right now. Oops, and there's the hit. Not an issue though, and that's done. Plenty of life and some magic left over to get to Dark Link. Yeah, the classic comms curse as far as taking damage there one day. At least he didn't die. And yeah, that's the other thing reminding me while we're waiting on Cytown to finish up is Cytown did in fact turn in that medicine for the dash spell while last locationing the glove, basically.
Yeah, I thought about it. I figured there was no way I was going to cast dash enough in GP to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, from your position it wasn't worth the time sink, I don't think.
Of course, I walked about halfway there forgetting where Rudo was, mistaking it for Rauru.
Yeah, that happens. And here's Dark Link. And there we go. GG's to cytown, finishing up the seed with an official time of 1:46:55. Still a pretty respectable time with how that seed went. He'll be joining us shortly for an interview once he gets his some of his audio stuff set up. Yeah, in the meantime, we'll hear. Let's put out some shoutouts here. Shoutouts to our two runners, Big Slam and Cytown, to my co-commentator Elendar, and to our tracker Relish Cheese for keeping up behind the scenes and marking pretty much every single item in the seed, as you found every item in the seed.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I know it takes a ton to put things like this on, and yeah, thank you guys for being able to give time and energy to put the two of us plebs on the screen to battle it out for third place.
Hey, don't say that. It was good to play you guys on. First time putting either of you on actually for a Z2RE show. It was a good show. Hope you at least GG's on the win, even if the seed was not especially kind. And Trail's saying, I wouldn't say all of that now. Trail's one of the other people in your group. And I see Cytown. Let me tow him in. Hey Cytown, GG's.
Hey, thanks guys. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, not my shining moment for sure.
Yeah, that was not a particularly kind seed.
No, I didn't play very well either though. I forgot to check the water spot near 2. There were just so many different things that I did that having to redig 3 twice for the item. 6 I think I went into 5 different times. Like whatever. It's just one of those where you know you're gonna lose because you're just not playing well enough.
Yeah, still sub 150 is pretty impressive for how poorly that seed went for you. That was not a kind one. There was just hiking everywhere.
Yeah, yep. It was combat wasn't that bad. Like it just felt like it was a little oblong to get around in it, but other than that, it was just you just got to play well, and there's no doubt Slamu did great on that one. So, GG's.
Yeah, thanks. I did not. I mean, the first tournament seed I got, I did not want west to Death Mountain to Maze Island to east, right? I don't think either one of us wanted that, but
I don't think anyone does.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we have to play the same one, I don't care either way. It's just I'm telling you, my performance tonight was just terrible. So sorry anybody who had to watch this, but I gave it a go.
Now I just need you to go in and pick one of the other two off, so I have a chance.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's get a 3-way tie at 2-2.
Just takes a little bit.
Definitely GG. This was not an easy seed. Honestly, I think I could have easily been right at 140 if I didn't get lucky on getting to the end of a couple spots with a half a heart left and whatnot. So.
Oh yeah, you'll have that every now and again, but I'm glad to be done. Like I'm glad that the GP was like the easiest one ever. So I went through that really fast, so that was nice. That's about the only thing that I did fast that seed. But just want to say thanks to the folks behind the scenes and all that good stuff. So appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to do this. So much obliged, everybody.
Oh yeah, always a pleasure. Nice to get you both on. This is our first time putting either of you on Restream, I think.
Yeah, this is my first Zelda 2 race. Yeah, so like, I mean, I've raced it, but not like in a tournament or anything like that.
Yeah, always nice to get some more new people on Restream. We've got a lot of new runners in this tourney, just generally.
Yeah,
To be among some of our many imports who I recognize from the Z1R community. We've got plenty of people from other places. A lot of new people. Nice to see.
yeah, I'm definitely one of the Z1R folks, but I'm always glad to play a little bit of here and there.
Mm-hmm. Welcome in, ZeldaSpeedRuns, ready with a party of 79. We are wrapping up a Zelda 2 Randomizer Tournament race stream here. Welcome in, though. Thanks for the raid.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna step out now, but thank you again, and great job, Slamu, and have a great night, everybody.
Yeah, GG's. Good luck on your next matches.
Thanks.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys again for putting this all together. I'm going to step out as well. Looking forward to the rest of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good night.
Alright, and I think that'll be it for us. Any final thoughts, Ellender, before I read off our schedule and go raid?
Nope. Hopefully they're all 100% seats. I love it.
Yep. So, yeah, no worries. We'll be running over to CSR 3 soon, since apparently that would have been an error in the raid. But so, coming up on the CSR schedule over on ZeldaSpeedRuns 3 right now, we have a Link to the Past Randomizer Cross-Keys Tournament match, Swiss Round 3 between Zeke, Highwind, and Asder. So we'll be reading them shortly. Then coming up at midnight Eastern in about an hour or so, we've got another Z2R tourney race, Group D between Jay Coper and Shaddy. That'll be over on CSR Main. Tomorrow we've got the Wind Waker Randomizer Season 4 Tournament match, Losers Bracket Round 8 between Tanjo and Gabadi. Game 1 and Game 2 will be featured as a doubleheader on CSR Main. 2 p.m. we have a Link's Awakening DX 70% No Wrong Worth Out of Bounds Tournament. Winners Bracket Round 1 between Materia Steel and Happy with Sugar. We may also have a couple more Z2R race streams depending on our volunteer situation. We have Victor Santa Fe versus Chukunan and of Group C at 3 p.m. Eastern, and the weekly race later at 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll also have some more Wind Waker Randomizer matches and another Cross Keys match if people want to check those out as well. And of course, coming after a week, we'll have even more Z2R going on. But that will be it for us. Let me do one final shoutouts of our 2 runners, Big Slamu and cytown, to my co-commentator Ellender, and to our tracker Royale with Cheese. Thank you for helping out with the restream as always. And thanks for watching, everyone. Let's go see how that cross-conceit is doing.